Okay, Mike the Tomahawk Delucia has tagged me in a video, and it is 3 Knives of Sentiment. And this may strike people as odd, I don't know, but first off, I got some explaining to do. I came from a very geographically isolated, economically depressed area. As a lot of people did. And as a kid, my biggest dream, or all I thought I ever needed in life, was a good deer rifle and a buck 110 folding hunter and a jacket to keep me warm. And it seemed like, it might as well have been, it was probably the equivalency of buying a house back then, but the one rifle I always wanted was the Remington 742 Woodsmaster. That right there is a 1968 basket weave BDL carbine. I'm not going to move the camera around, but it's a carbine. What the hell do I care? It's my video. I'm going to do it till I want. It's a carbine right there. Oop. Gratuitous buck shot. Basket weaved, absolutely one of my favorite guns I've ever owned, to be honest with you. But when I was a kid, that was the one thing that I wanted in the worst way. I've had a few of them, but that right there is special because it's a 68. So, alright, it's not a gun video, it's a knife video. So, 3 Knives of Sentiment. On the bottom, you see a buck 110 folding hunter. And again, that is a 1968. I've had that for quite a while. I'd like to tell you it's the first one I ever owned, but it's not the truth. I actually destroyed the first one I ever owned. And I have quite a few of them, to be honest with you. But that one right there is kind of special to me because in 1968, I distinctly remember a frosty October morning, and I was sitting up on the counter watching my grandparents walk across the field to go rabbit hunting. And they had on the, the big green, tall green rubber boots, a couple of single-shot Lefevre shotguns, the old plaid wool jacket, and my grandfather, that knife right in the middle right there, is a Western. That right there was probably the only knife my grandfather ever owned. And I'm sure that it was bought either at the hardware store for $3 or $4, or it was probably mail ordered, because that's how it was back then. The old timers never went out shopping. They made do with what they had. And to the best of my recollection, that knife right there is the only knife he ever owned, as far as a hunting knife goes. I got it when he died, which is kind of unusual because my grandfather was the most unsentimental person I ever knew in my life. Never hung on to anything. As soon as he was done with it, he got rid of it. But it wasn't because, it was just the way it was. Everything was a tool back then. It didn't mean anything because they were just trying to, the only thing those people were thinking about was getting to their next meal. And, like I said, for some reason, that knife stayed in his possession up until he passed away back in 1999, I guess it was. And I picked it up and I've had it ever since. And I guess I'm speaking kind of metaphorically, but in some way that knife has shaped who I am today. That's a tough thing to explain, but it was a very sentimental knife to me. Now the one on the top, alright, you know what that is. It's a snap-on. You've seen a million of them, but there's something special about that knife. That knife was bought off a snap-on tool truck up in Canada by none other than Sean Roberts, SSR Guns and Knives. And you can't do a knife video without talking about Sean. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But that knife wasn't given to me by Sean. Actually, he gave that knife to the fat man. along with a lot of other knives. And the Fat Man and I are friends. I'm proud to say he's a friend of mine. And he had a lot of knives given to him by Sean, and I've bought a lot of knives off the Fat Man. He's given me a few knives. He gave me a Buck Chairman. He gave me a 110 drop point. Gave it to me. Just here, there you go. It's yours. Can't say enough good about the Fat Man. But in one of my purchases, that showed up, and I knew as soon as I opened it up where they came from. And he gave it to me and I understand why he gave it to me, and I'm not going to get into that. But that knife right there is very sentimental for that reason. So, I guess those are probably the 3 most sentimental knives I own. One, let's start from the beginning, that Buck 110 Folding Hunter, because when I was a kid, that knife means a lot to me. Just the knife itself, not that one in particular, but because it's a 68 and the way shit ties together, I don't know. And then the one in the middle, my grandfather's knife, and then the one on the top, that little snap-on Ken Onion design flipper, that came from Sean. So I guess those are my knives. Those are my 3 most sentimental knives I've ever owned in my life. Okay, so you've seen my 3 blades of sentimental value, for the most sentimental knives I have. I am going to tag 3 other people. That's part of this video. You have to tag 3 people, and they have to show their 3 most sentimental blades. So, I am going to tag CRAGDWELLA. Yep, you're it, buddy. CRAGDWELLA, really cool guy, cool videos. You probably sub to him, but if not, check it out. That's CRAGDWELLA. He's my first pick. My second pick is Eat Carbs. Yep, Eat Carbs. You got to do a video. And I'm really going to reach on this one, but I am going to pick 13 Prevail, all the way from the Rock. If you're watching this video, I want you to pull out your 3 most sentimental blades and do a video. Then you tag 3 people. But, and if you folks haven't subscribed to 13 Prevail, I suggest you do. He's a great guy from Newfoundland, actually. I watch his videos all the time, and I've caught him watching mine a couple of times. Let's see if he's watching this one. But anyway, so we got CRAGDWELLA, Eat Carbs, 13 Prevail. You're it. Alright, thanks for watching, folks.